What if I told you that you're going to die today? Would you believe me? Would you consider this to be true? Obviously, you wouldn't. You'd think that I have the next 20, 30, 40 years to live. But how can you be certain of that? How do you exactly know that? The truth is, no one does. We cannot even know if we are going to be able to take the next breath or not. That is how uncertain and fragile life is. Then why do we live in so much unhappiness and so much unfulfillment when we don't even know that the next moment is there for us or not? Why don't we enjoy this current moment? Why do we keep getting stuck in the past or keep fearing about the future when all we need to do is be right here and feel happy? Why does that happen? That's what we'll understand today. Stay tuned. There are two kinds of people in this world, the unsuccessful and the successful. But whom do we talk about the most? Whom do we know the most? Obviously, the successful people. But they are only the 5% of people in this world. Almost 95% of the people on this planet are unsuccessful. Why is that? What marks the distinction between the unsuccessful people and the successful people? What are the steps? What are the different things and what are the different actions that take one person from here, from the 95% category to here in the successful category? What defines these boundaries? What are these boundaries? Do you want to know that? I'm sure you do, because if anyone wants to be successful, that person needs to know how to go from that 95% to the 5%. But there's a big wall in between. You can call it the Great Wall of China or any wall because it's a very big wall. And the only way to become successful is to climb over that wall and go to the other side. The problem is, most people don't know how to do that. Most people don't know what is stopping them from crossing that wall, from going over that and actually becoming successful. The reason why most people actually do not achieve success is not because they don't have the right purpose, they aren't taking actions or any of those kind of things. The main reason is that from childhood, the kind of habits we develop and the kind of attitude we develop towards life is negative. We develop bad habits, habits that don't serve us well, and all those things that at first seem very insignificant mount up and then become that big, great wall that we need to cross. The way to do that is to identify these bad habits and to take action to overcome them. But we cannot notice them right away until and unless we don't see very keenly, we don't see with full focus, we cannot define those boundaries and we cannot understand what small, insignificant yet impactful actions and habits create that wall. That is what we are going to learn today. Today I'm going to show you a simple mirror, a clean, plain mirror where you can see all those habits, all those actions that are stopping you from achieving success. Let's discuss the top 10 bad habits that we need to overcome to achieve success and cross over that wall. Let's begin. Do you want to get over that wall and finally get into the top 5% to become successful? I'm sure you do. We all want that. We all want that elite, happy and joyful life. Because we aren't sure if we'll even get the next breath or not, and that is why living to the fullest in this moment matters the most. But to do that, we need to understand what created that big wall at the beginning only. What creates that big wall, and if we understand that, we will be able to break that wall down, climb over that, do anything and achieve success. So the one thing that creates that wall, the main component, the cement of it is bad habits and actions that don't allow us to grow. So how can we define a bad habit though? What are the terms and different kind of conditions that define that this action is good, this action is bad? Let's understand that. If any action harms you on mental, physical, or emotional level, it is a bad habit or a bad action. Eating pizza or eating junk food is the easiest example. It harms you on the physical level. You feel groggy, you gain weight, and all of those things, so that is a bad habit. Procrastination is another bad habit. You procrastinate your project, and at the last minute, you start doing it and you don't sleep for 3 nights continuously. That harms you on both mental, emotional, and physical level, because your body is tired, your mind is continuously stressed, and that is releasing stress hormones and all, that is putting pressure on your mind and brain. And on emotional level, you are getting exhausted because you have so much work to do. So procrastination creates disturbance and creates distress on all these 3 levels, and that is why it is another bad habit. And any action that does not allow you to grow, that does not allow you to achieve your fullest potential, is also a bad habit. Let's say that you want to become a fitness trainer, but you are not doing that, you're not doing the market research required, or you're not doing all those things that are required to set up a business. So by not doing that, by procrastinating, you are delaying your growth, you are delaying your success, and those kind of actions also come under the realm of bad habits. And naturally, anything that breaks the law or social norms that define our community is also bad, because that won't help you succeed and grow both personally and socially along with others. So these are the simple things that define what bad habits are. And now we'll understand what these habits actually are, which actions and habits create this wall, and then we'll understand how we can overcome them. Imagine that you're running a marathon. This is your first time running a marathon, and you finish up on the 5th position. What you did was that you ran at a slow, comfortable pace so that you wouldn't get tired, and whenever you took water breaks, you stopped there, waited to finish that water or that cookie break, whatever it was, and then continued. That is why you finished at the 5th place, while the person who came first ran a little faster, took some breaks in between, then continued faster. And when he took those eating breaks or those water breaks, he did not stop there. He took that water bottle with him and then continued on the path as he drank sip by sip. That way he finished first, and this way you finish 5th. Now in the next marathon that you want to run, that is, let's say, 6 months ahead in time, you think that you want to finish first as well. And what you do is you follow the exact same path that you did in your first marathon. You run at the comfortable pace, you stop in between at the water breaks and all, and again you finish 6th instead of 5th. Now you're frustrated. You're like, I wanted to come first. Why did I come 5th? Why did I come 6th now? Do you think there is any reason to this kind of frustration? You'd agree that it is illogical, right? You took the same actions, you took the same kind of steps, and how could you expect different results than the first time? It seems all logical and simple in terms of this marathon, and we all agree with it. But the thing is that in real life, this happens more often than we realize. You take one step, it doesn't produce any results, but you don't notice that. You continue doing that, and those actions then mount up and create failure. If you're running a business and you realize that if you just rely on phone communication to get clients' work done, you feel that there is communication lag, people aren't able to connect properly, and that the work is getting delayed, and eventually the client leaves. If that is what's happening, you need to improve on it, right? But you don't notice that. You continue doing that thing and you continue repeating those kind of actions until your business fails and no more clients come to you. And at that time, you're like, I did everything right. How did this happen? You didn't do everything right. You did everything wrong. You did not identify the actions that were creating failure and didn't improve on that. And that is the biggest problem. We think that without changing our actions, we can get different results. If we think rationally, if we think actually, it isn't possible. It simply doesn't make sense. But we do that, and that is the first habit that we need to overcome. We need to change our path. We need to go somewhere else. And we need to try out different things so that we can actually get different results. If you want to go this way, you're taking this road, but you're like, that is my destination, but I'll go this way and I'll reach there. It does not make sense. And it is the same for doing anything in life. If you want different results, you need to change your actions. That is it. This was the first habit, and now we'll understand what the second most important and bad habit is that you need to overcome. Let's understand that. The second bad habit that we need to overcome is that we keep waiting and waiting for the right time and don't take action. Imagine that you are a student and in 6 months you have your final exam, and after that you will graduate from college. You think that, okay, I have 6 months and these are all the subjects I need to cover. I need to cover these 8 subjects, and if I give 15 days to each subject, I will be able to do it very quickly. It won't take me a lot of time. So you come up with that plan to think that in 4 months I'll be able to cover all of these subjects, and in the last 2 months I'll be able to focus on what's more important. Do you think that you'll actually take action on that plan? Most probably you wouldn't. You'd be like, the day you have made the plan and then the next day you have to start. You go on your computer, you have to start studying, and you just log into Netflix or YouTube and you see that, oh my god, this new series has just come out and the 2 more episodes are out. So you think, maybe I have my exam in 6 months. What I should do is I'll just watch these 2 episodes and then I'll start studying. That way I'll have the right time, I won't be distracted, and all my curiosity about that series would be over and I would be able to do that. It seems nice. It seems that, okay, yeah, that's good. And you do that. You spend 3 hours or 2 hours watching the next 2 episodes on the series, and then you're like, let me start. The next thing you do is, okay, I'm a little hungry and let's just get something to eat. You go out, you get a burger and you have your lunch. After that, you come home and you get a call from your friend. And they are like, oh, would you like to come over? And you think, yes, let me just go to this party. If I'll miss that, I would think that, oh, I missed this party and all, I would get confused. So let me just do that. Then I'll start studying. These kind of things continue happening and happening until you have 1 month left and you are in complete distress about what to do. And you turn off everything and you're like, now let me study. If you keep waiting and waiting and waiting for the right time, you'll never take actions because distractions and other things will always come up. If you don't prioritize what is the most important to you, you won't be able to achieve any kind of success. You need to have the right goals and you need to understand how you can work towards them. If you want to know more about that, click up here and watch my video on how to set the right goals, and that will help you understand how to set goals that help you achieve success. But that's not all. By just setting goals, you won't be able to achieve success. You need to get over these bad habits and you need to start taking action now. The perfect time will never come because there will always be some kind of distraction that will pop up, capture your attention, and then divert you from what matters the most to you. Clear out your priorities, decide on what matters the most, and take action now. That is the way you'll get over the second bad habit of procrastinating and waiting for the last minute and then not actually achieving success. Does every student in school want to get the best marks and finish at the top of the class? Yes. But does every student in school also want to put in 6 months of dedicated study to get to that? No. Every person who applies for a job wants to get that position. But does every person who applies to that job and wants to get that position prepare properly for an interview and gives all the right answers? No. And any person who wants to achieve success, every person wants to achieve success, but is every person ready to give in that effort and that pushing and that all that struggle to achieve success? No. What we actually want is, I should not have to study a lot. I can party with my friends, I can go out, go on a vacation and still get the best grade in class. For job interviews, what we want is that we don't get asked a lot of questions, our resume does the work for us and we get the job. And for achieving success, we think that, okay, yeah, I'm taking this action and by replicating the system, I achieve success and that's it. That is not how this works. That is not how you can achieve success, because good things never come easy. I have this quote here: it never gets easier, you just get better, and that is what you need to keep in mind. Nothing good ever comes easy. Crossing this big wall from the unsuccessful to the successful is difficult for those 95% of people, because they believe that we don't need to take action and that we can just do mediocre things and achieve great results. That's not how it happens. To achieve great results, you need to do extra great things. By doing great things, you will get approximately good results. But by doing extra great things, you will get great results and actually achieve success. The only difference between ordinary and extraordinary people is the extra. And that extra is giving in that struggle, prioritizing what is important and taking action on those priorities. Without struggle, even a butterfly cannot come out of its cocoon and fly. That is the same with us. If we want to actually fly, if we want to actually achieve success and soar high, we need to take and we need to be a part of our struggle. We need to be proud of that struggle. We need to understand that it is for our good, and that is how we will achieve all the success we want to. This is the third biggest bad habit that you need to overcome, that you expect good things to come easy. That will never happen, and if you just take mediocre action, you'll get mediocre to below average results. If you want a life like that, if you want to live in that you just get a job that pays you well, you're able to pay rent, you're able to let your family eat, and after every 5 or 10 years you go on that dream vacation, and then you die off in your deathbed thinking that, okay, my life was good. Do you want that kind of life? Do you want that meager, meaningless life? Do you want that meaningless existence? Obviously you don't. You want that great height, you want that great success, you want all those things and all that freedom that comes with success. And if you want freedom, if you want success, and if you want to soar high, be happy and do great things, you need to struggle, you need to give your best in, and you need to be able to take the action that others are not willing to take, and that is how you will achieve that success. Even if it means that you have to give up on parties, social events, other things that common people do, that unsuccessful people do, give up on those things. Focus on your priorities, focus on your goals, and 10 years from now, I can guarantee that those people will still be doing those parties, they'll still be hanging out in the same areas, while you will be at the top. You will achieve success. If you want that, then you just need to remember that it never gets easier, you just get better, and through that struggle you get better. When a butterfly is coming out of its cocoon, its body is big and swollen, but its wings are small. Through that struggle, through that power and all that it needs to just open up that cocoon, the wings get strengthened, the body gets smaller, and that is why it is able to fly. If it was just able to open up that cocoon and get out, it would never be able to fly and achieve success. And it is the same with us. To get out of the cocoon of mediocrity, of average existence, we need to push constantly for that, and that is how we will achieve success. We all seek security. We all want to live a certain and happy and peaceful life. And to do that, we refuse risks. We are like, oh, that's too risky, we should not do that. or that maybe this career decision will be too risky and I'm just good at my this job and it will be great, I'll just live life peacefully. But what we are actually doing is that with every moment we are taking a big risk. Every moment that we take a breath, every time that we go, that goes 1 second, every second that passes on, that we are alive, we are taking the biggest risk of our lives. How? We are getting closer to death because the time we have left is getting shorter and shorter. With every moment, every second, your time on this planet is elapsing, and there are two things that can happen. One is you don't take risks, you live a normal, mediocre life, and you die. The second thing that happens is you take risks, you push through, you take action, and you achieve success, you live life to the fullest, and you die. Both of these ways lead to the same outcome. It's upon you which journey you choose. Which journey do you want to choose? Obviously, it's the journey of success. And to do that, the number one thing that we need to do is take risks. Living life is risky, and if we want to live it to the fullest, we need to take even more risk. If you want to get into your own startup and build something new, it might seem risky at first, but when you analyze it properly, when you think that, okay, I can take this decision or I cannot take this decision, by analyzing and by thinking over it, you're actually better off, and by taking that leap of faith, you can achieve more success. So one thing that can help you here is my video on decision making. Click here to watch it, and in that you learn how you can take the best decisions. And if you want to take a risk, you apply that process, you see if it will be viable or not, and that is how you will get to success, and that is how you will achieve all you want. Take risks, believe in yourself, and take action, and you will achieve success. Imagine that you're working on something and the first time you do it, it fails. The people around you start saying, oh, you can't do this, that's out of your league. Just stay in your job, stay in the work you're doing, and that's it. Then you try another time. But this time, all that fear, all that focusing that you're doing on your past rejection creates fear inside of you, and you think, no, last time it didn't happen, last time it turned out this way, and this time also it will become bad, it won't happen good, and I will fail again. That is how most of us think. We feel that if we fail at something once, we'll fail at it again and again. And we just get too stuck on that past rejection instead of actually improving and learning better in the future. What happens is that we are continuously overthinking in a negative spiral about how we failed, what happened, what went wrong. But we don't think of how can we improve on that, how can we take better action. That is the difference between unsuccessful and successful people. Imagine if J.K. Rowling also had the mindset that you have, like I told you in the previous example, that you fail once and you think, I can't do this anymore, I failed once and the outcome will be same again. If J.K. Rowling also had that kind of mindset, Harry Potter wouldn't exist today. Almost everyone, even I love that series so much, it's beautiful. But it would not have been there if J.K. Rowling had let this bad habit sink in and allow her to not get published. So let me tell that story. What happened was that she took the story to her first publisher, and that publisher disagreed. That publisher did not agree to publish the book. Then she went to the second one, and that publishing house also rejected her. This continued and continued until 12 publishing houses rejected her. Most of us give up on the first time, and she was through 12. But then at that time she could have easily said, 12 people have rejected me, no one will accept me. But she did not think that way. She knocked on the 13th publisher's door, and that was Bloomsbury, and they agreed to publish Harry Potter, and today it's one of the most famous fiction series in the world. She did not give up. She kept trying, and she did not focus on her past rejections. She focused on her future possibilities. Remember this: if you want to achieve your dreams, if you want to live a beautiful and happy life, don't spend time being frustrated or focused on your past rejections. Spend time thinking and acting towards future possibilities. That is the most important thing you need to do.